Saxophones, let's get ready to rock out on our mouthpiece and our neck. There are a few materials you're going to need from your case. First, you're going to need to grab your neck. You're also going to need to grab your mouthpiece with the ligature. There's a fancy ligature right there. You're also going to need a reed. And last but not least, you will need cork grease, and this is not chapstick. If your ligature is on your mouthpiece, go ahead and loosen the screws so that your ligature will be able to slip off your mouthpiece. Then find your cork grease, and you're going to apply cork grease right here on the cork. And then you can use your finger to evenly distribute the cork grease around the cork. And be careful not to use too much, but also not too little. And if you use too much, this is where your finger will help distribute it all around the cork. Now find your mouthpiece, and you're going to very carefully twist your mouthpiece onto the cork end. When you do this, you want to be careful that you're not using a rocking motion, but a twisting motion and a little bit of a push. So I'm going to go ahead and twist and push it in. You don't have to push it all the way in. And then it should end looking like this. Go ahead and find your reed, and very carefully, whichever kind of case you have, slip the reed out of the case. And then before you play, make sure that you do wet your reed. Just a tip. Make sure that when you are putting the reed back in the case, that this thin side is going in first. Or if you have a red case, that you're putting it from the side and that the thin end is on the bigger end of the reed case. You need to find the flat side of the reed. You can find it because it has words on it. And you're going to put the flat side of the reed against the flat side of the mouthpiece. When you place the reed down on the flat side of the mouthpiece, you want to make sure that the reed isn't too low. And you also want to make sure that the reed isn't too high. Go ahead and find your fancy ligature, and we're going to put the ligature over the mouthpiece and the reed. You want to make sure that the big end of the ligature is facing down, and you'll know that because the screws will be facing towards the right, and the screws are facing towards you. So if I were to show you this from here, the screws are facing towards me to the right. I'm going to take the ligature and very carefully slide it over the reed and the mouthpiece. Now that you have your ligature on, you may need to adjust your reed. So be careful that you're not adjusting it from the tip, but adjust from the thick part of the reed. So down here and even on the sides. And this way you will not damage your reed. And once you get it to a spot where it's not too high and too low, then you can go ahead and tighten your two screws. Be careful that when you're tightening your screws that you're not tightening them too tight. You want to make sure that your ligature is far enough down on your mouthpiece. So a trick is to make sure that you can see the brand name of your mouthpiece in this little ligature window. When you're done, it should look like this. You are now ready to start playing your first sounds on your neck and your mouthpiece.
You can also check out more videos by subscribing to GW Music 62.